you see in grocery stores actually is dependent upon what travels best. So it may look like a huge variety, but if you come to the farmer's market, you'll see the things that you like finding at the grocery store, but you'll also find a nice variety there too of different types of products. Like years ago, kale was a different type of product. Now it's very normal. And so that's what you will find at the market, is that not only the things that you know of and know how to prepare and so on, but other things that you may not. And then asking your farmer or how do I make this? And a lot of them have great recipes. And that just doesn't even include just your produce and your meat merchants, vendors, but it also, like for example, Leah from Latchaw Honey Apiaries, she gave me a recipe for her honey that she added turmeric to, and she adds her turmeric honey to a warm cup of milk or creamy oat milk, and it makes chai tea. It's fantastic. So getting to know your producer is really, really important. You're also eating at peak of season. And so you won't see corn there the first couple markets, but you will see it in July and August. That means it's at peak of season. Food safety is a big deal these days. As you know, recalls happen all the time. And the amazing thing that you may or may not think about is the fact that the person who's selling you that beef, for example, or that chicken, actually raised those animals, took it to butcher, and then it comes to you, rather than a whole bunch of hands and people touching it. We have over 40 vendors at our market. That means we have over 40 individual business owners. And so you're going to not only help support them, but you're also shopping local, which is really important. And the last thing to remember, especially this year, is safety, not only for food safety, but also for the safety. You're outdoors, and we're going to, we have limited numbers, which Jackie will go over, who can actually be in market, but you're in the outdoors, and also that's fewer people who have touched your food. So that's all I have for right now.
Great. Thank you, Kristina. I think those are all compelling reasons to support your local market. So the biggest change for the market this summer is our location. We are setting up at the Church of the Resurrection. It's located at 6300 East Dublin Granville Road, right in New Albany. The reason we are at the Church of the Resurrection is because it allows us to set up our market with a walk-up style and still maintain that 6-foot distancing for safety for our vendors and also for our customers who are shopping. And Marianne has a nice visual. Say something, Marianne. Oh, unmute.
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
You will be seeing these signs on the pavement around the Church of the Resurrection when you come to the market this year as friendly reminders that we need to keep our 6-foot distance from one another.
Excellent. Marianne is our #1 guru for any props that we need to see today. So she may be putting something else up on her screen. I'm not sure. Stay tuned. So the dates of the market are the same and the hours are the same. We'll be there every Thursday starting June 25th. We run a 12-week market through September 10th. We are there rain or shine. I think the only time we would not be there is if it was truly extreme dangerous weather with wind and lightning and such. But otherwise, we are there rain or shine. The hours of the market are 4 to 7 p.m. This year, because of COVID-19, we will have special hours for the first half hour from 4 to 4:30. We are reserving that for our vulnerable population and those 60 plus. So something to keep in mind when you're coming to the market and you fit that special category, you can come right at 4 o'clock and avoid most of the crowds. So the layout of the market is going to be a little bit different. You still will be able to walk up to the vendor booth. They're just going to be spaced out a bit further. And the next slide is a map, and it'll kind of give you an overview of how the market will be laid out at the church. But we are using 6-foot distancing for our vendors as well as our shoppers. We will have one area where you enter and exit the market. The vendors will be grouped together. So all of your produce vendors will be together in the same area, or all of your meat vendors, you'll find them in the same area. That will keep it a little bit easier for you to shop and find the vendors you're looking for. Typically, our market has been laid out where we intermingle everyone. Because in the past, we've encouraged our customers to linger and shop and enjoy. And this year, because of COVID-19, that is changing a little bit. The lingering is not as encouraged. We are going to have food trucks available. Those are going to be set up in the parking lot area where customers park. And you can access the parking lot from Dublin Granville Road, also from Fodor Road. And I'm going to click on to the next slide. And we are allowed to have a maximum of 150 people in the market at one given time in the shopping area. If you see my little cursor here, I'm going to circle. This is our shopping area. If over here on the side, Fodor Road, the high school would be over here, just to give you a reference point. And then, of course, Dublin Granville Road down to the bottom. The colors here represent the different categories that you're shopping, the different types of merchants. Here in this area next to the ministry center is where you will enter and exit. Actually, we're going to have our compost gentlemen and our knife sharpeners set up near the exit, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But up here in the general parking area, you'll see the food trucks located in the four corners. We'll have, on average, 4 food trucks each week at the market. We'll talk a little bit more about how to order from them and how that works. But here you'll see on the one side of the church to the west, Morgan Road, you can pull in and park. You're going to go all the way up to behind the ministry center to access that parking lot. And you can also use the main entrance into the church to get into the parking. Now, we do have a smaller parking area near this entrance. We'll have a person standing here manning that area. We definitely will have some spots available, especially for that vulnerable population that's coming early. They can park up here a little bit closer. Those that need handicap type parking can get in this space as well. Does anyone have any questions? I've kind of moved through a bit of information. If anyone has a question, you can unmute yourself to ask. Otherwise, we can keep moving on. So when you come in our entrance, we're going to have these lovely signs posted as reminders for everyone. And there on Marianne, if you unmute yourself and say something, you'll show up with your visual aid.
So these are the signs that you'll see when you come in to the market, as well as smaller ones that will be at the vendors' tables as well. In these signs, it kind of says to you, don't come to the market, please, if you are sick. Make sure that you wash your hands. We will have a sanitizing station at the entrance to the market for you to use before entering the market. We are strongly encouraging you to wear masks, as our vendors are being encouraged to wear masks as well. And some of them will have the option to serve you, not serve you, or serve you if you don't have a mask on. That will be up to their discretion. But we are asking you to wear a mask. And if you want to think about what your mask you want to wear for the market, we're hoping to have a masquerade party at some point in time during this season. So put your best mask on and come out and join us. Again, the 6-foot distance. And then I know we all love to pick up that apple and that tomato and feel how gushy or soft or hard or whatever we want it to be, but we're really not going to be able to do that this year. So it is a kind of like a touchless market this year. And although we will have artisans there for you, and I know it's hard not to try on that necklace and make sure it's the right length, You just might have to have the vendor themselves try that necklace on for you and have them see what the length it is on them. Just some different things about the market and the shopping, but hopefully it will still be a wonderful shopping experience for everyone involved.
Yeah, thanks, Marianne. Definitely. So, you know, these were the guidelines that Marianne basically just talked about. So one thing to add to that is we are asking the public to try to limit their group size to 1 or 2 people per household who comes to shop at the market. Now we realize that we need to have some flexibility with that, because I know moms out there have maybe 2, 3 children that they're bringing along. So know that we have that flexibility that yes, if you are coming with a size a little bit larger than that, we understand. Some households are a little bigger. We're just encouraging that if you can fit within that 2 peas in a pod kind of a category, we encourage it. But know that you can still come and shop at the market if you have a few more people in your group than that. But anyway, I'll continue on to the next slide. Just a few more additional tips to keep you safe. You know, shopping this year, one of the things they talk about with COVID is, you know, being in the same space for a length of time. So we're asking, shop quickly, try to avoid congregating or gathering in groups while you're at the market. We're there for you. We want it to be a pleasant experience, but we're also asking to minimize risk by not gathering. Shop with your eyes. Marianne mentioned, you know, not touching items, letting the vendor do it for you. Using your credit card or exact change when you pay can minimize contact. Pre-ordering is very helpful. Later in the program, I'll talk a little bit more about a vendor guide we have on our website, which is fabulous. And one thing to really remember, we do not have public restrooms available at our site this year. So that's where step 1 comes in, shopping quickly, get in and out. But please know that we do not have public restrooms. We are not allowing pets at the market this year. Service dogs are certainly allowed, but please, your pets need to stay at home this summer. And lastly, you know, bring your patience and your flexibility. A lot of this is new to us and new to you. We want this to be a fun experience, getting outdoors, shopping with our vendors. But anyway, be patient. We're doing the best we can. Our number 1 priority is keeping everyone safe. Any fellow managers want to add anything else? Just, I'll move along. Wanted to talk about the vendor booth, you know, what to expect when you approach a vendor's booth. So vendors will be wearing masks. We do require our vendors to wear a mask. We as managers will be wearing masks, and any of our volunteers will be wearing a mask. So it seems to be the new norm in our society, wearing masks. Some vendors might require you to wear a mask in order to approach their booth. Vendors might ask you not to touch the items and they will pick them for you. One thing that is new this summer, sampling is not available. However, there's a little bit of an update we've gotten from our Franklin County Public Health. If a vendor chooses to pre-package a small sample, they are allowed to give you a pre-packaged sample of their product. So that kind of sampling will be available, but not like it was before, where there's a tray and they've cut up this beautiful bread and you can sample it. The other thing is pre-ordering will help minimize contact. So keep that in mind. When you're shopping the market, you may want to order something ahead of time. So when you come the following week, there's that shopping quickly, getting through the market quickly and minimizing your contact. So a couple samples here of, you know, spacing for our vendors. This is a different market from ours, but you can see, you know, they're spaced pretty far apart. So that's going to look a little different. I don't think our market's going to look as pretty as it normally does with the spacing that we're doing, but it'll be just as effective. We'll have the great products and getting outdoors and being able to shop. This picture to the right, this is one of our produce vendors, and a setup they've done is they've put up protective curtains, and This allows a sneeze screen, if you will, where you can get up close and see the products, but it keeps a barrier between you and the vendor. And something else you might see at a vendor booth, for instance, in this display, they've put an extra little table in front just to make sure that distancing is happening as you approach their booth. So something you might see. Again, we've talked about vendors will be wearing a mask. You can see at this woman's table also, she's pre-packaged all of her stuff. She's pre-sorted, pre-packaged, and wrapped it. So that might be something you see and will be a little different than maybe the baskets that are overflowing with tomatoes or carrots or whatever might be for sale. And vendors may ask to not touch, and they'll pick items for you and bag them. So, and then I talked about our wonderful vendor guide. So we have on our Healthy New Albany website this fabulous vendor guide. Emily Snyder, our marketing guru, has put this together for us. It is a very simple point and click. We've taken our vendors and put them in categories. So if you're looking for a meat vendor or a produce vendor, you can find them quickly and easily. You click on their name, it pulls up their information. It can direct you to their Facebook page, their website. It can help tell you how to order, whether they deliver, whether you can pick up at the market. Lots of good information. So I highly encourage you to visit our website, go to the vendor guide, and just click through it and take a look. Again, try it out. Food trucks. We have food trucks coming to the market this summer. This is a sampling of the variety of food trucks that will be at our market each Thursday. And again, they'll be set up in that parking lot area. So very easy. You get your shopping done at the market, load your car, run over, place an order for dinner, and take it home. So basic instructions or guidelines with the food trucks. You're going to place an order with the food truck. You're going to socially distance yourself while you're waiting for your order. You can also wait in your car. And just know that food truck orders are to go. These are orders that you're going to take home and consume. There's no dining at the market this summer or in the parking lot areas. So I'm going to pause a second. Does any manager want to add anything, or are there any questions I could answer? So we'll just keep moving along. Something new to our market this summer is the compost exchange. We are really excited about this program. We have a gentleman, he basically takes your kitchen scraps and composts them for you. So you sign up for his program. There is a small fee that you pay. I think it's a 6-month subscription. And I also believe he has a trial for a month. But anyway, he will be at our market every Thursday. And basically, when you start out with his program, you'll get a large bucket with this special liner. And while you're at home all week, eating all those wonderful vegetables, all of your scraps can go into that bucket and into the liner. So then when it's Thursday, you can take your liner out of your bucket, tie it off, bring it with you, drop it off to the compost exchange. He'll give you a new bag and you collect for the following week. It's just a really nice program, great way to be recycling your food scraps and helping the environment while doing so. So I encourage you to visit him.
Jackie, direct real quick. Oh, go ahead, Marianne.
I was just going to say the liner that you will receive, this is not it, but it is this is the company that he uses, EcoSafe, for his liners, and it will be larger than this as well. This is just, I wanted you to see kind of what his liners are like. I'm sorry, I have a sample of his liner, but I think it's out in my garage and I forgot to grab it.
They hold a good amount of weight too, don't they, Marianne?
I'm not sure how big his is going to hold, more than this, and going to also weight-wise. The way they've measured the weight on these is by brick. So the one I'm showing you right now, which is a smaller version, holds 2 bricks, I've been told. And this one I've been told, which is smaller than that one, they call this the t-shirt bag, holds 1 brick. But it's probably hard for all of you. These are more like carrying bags. His will be a liner that fits over the bucket.
Okay.
Right. And one thing, if I could just add, is that he will be there each week of the market. And then when the market ends September 10th, he will then move to the Healthy New Albany building just week to pick up your bag, to have you bring your bags every week for the next year. So the city of New Albany is supporting that. And so you won't be done when the farmer's market's done. It will just keep going. So we're just starting it.
Yeah, you cut out for just a little bit there, Kristina. So I'm just going to repeat that when the market finishes September 10th, the compost exchange will still continue to pick up on a weekly basis, but over at the Heights Center parking lot. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great.
Sorry.
No, that's good. You cut out for a minute. I just want to make sure everybody knew that once the market is done, the compost exchange continues, and he'll be over at the Heights Center parking lot where you can drop off there. So the other service that we will have at the market is knife sharpening. We have the Finest Edge coming to our market for the whole summer. And he also is going to be set up near the entrance and exit points. So when you come to the market, you can drop off your knives for sharpening, get your shopping done. Hopefully your sharpening is done when you're done shopping, and you can pick them up as you exit and are on your way to the food truck to get dinner. So just wanted to point that out and let you know that we also have that service coming to our market every Thursday. I would say lastly, how to stay up to date with what is happening at the market. A lot of, we've learned in the last few months anyway, a lot of the guidelines we have to follow in order to open our market have changed on the fly. And so we've been finding ourselves continually working to keep up to date with what is happening at the market. How do we run the market? So how do you keep up to date? One way is signing up for our text reminders, and I really highly recommend this. We send out a text reminder every Thursday. It just reminds you that the market is happening, and then it may also point out a special vendor that might be coming. We might be announcing our masquerade party, reminding you to wear that special mask that you have. But again, if you text Healthy NA to 88202, you can get on our text reminder that we send out. Our website is also a great source of information. That's also where you find our vendor guide in order to be able to order online or directly with our farmers and vendors. Follow us on Facebook, and I will make a note. It's New Albany Farmers Market -Ohio. There is another New Albany Farmers Market in Indiana. So make sure when you're looking for us on Facebook, you add that Ohio onto the end. And then of course, follow us on Instagram. We are at NA Farmers Market. So those are all ways that you can keep in touch with us and stay up to date with any information. And I am going to turn it over to any questions. Does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask? And at this point, if you want to unmute your microphone, that works fine. And we'd be happy to answer questions.
You were signed up last year for the text. Do we need to sign up again?
No, my understanding is if you are already signed up for the text, you should be signed up.
Very good. Thank you.
That's correct, Jackie. They'll still be on it if they received them last year.
Oh, good. Great.
Unless they unsubscribed.
Okay.
Jackie, will you have a list on the website each week of who the vendors are?
That's a great idea. I
would say look to social media for that information. It's easier to update on social media, and just keep in mind that there are occasionally last minute cancellations.
Yeah, I mean, even as we're standing at the market, we can get a cancellation. Somebody's car might break down. So it's definitely a moving target sometimes. But for the most part, most of our vendors are going to be there the whole season. We have a few that are coming every other week and some just a few weeks. So, any other questions?
I just wanted to say thank you. I feel like I got to sit in on a secret planning meeting. And I don't know why this didn't, I joined early thinking I'd get locked out. Thank you for all the work you're doing to bring this to the community. To improve my health, I'm trying to really focus on improved eating healthy. And so I'm delighted for all your work. The only other question is, I will walk to it. I would assume we just follow the same pathway when we're walking and enter through the parking lot to get there. So
absolutely correct. Yeah, you can, you just need to walk over to the entry point. And that allows us to keep track of how many shoppers are in the market at one time. So thank you. That's a good question. I think we've also had the question arise, can I ride bikes? A lot of people are riding their bikes now. Mm-hmm. And I think there were some bike racks available over by the church. I would say, yes, you can ride your bikes over, but again, you need to enter through that one entry point.
Also remember that it's a big parking lot. And, you know, all our vendors have about 3 parking spots each. So it's going to be a bit of walking in the market itself to get to all the vendors that you may wish to get to. And there really isn't anywhere to sit. You know, unfortunately, it's just, you know, New Albany has always been such a social community, and it's difficult, yet we can all do this. So, we so appreciate y'all tuning in, and you know, the team has worked really hard to bring this to our community. So bring people, let them know about it. And I think Jackie recorded this, so it will probably be available.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add, if somebody does have an issue with getting around the market or getting to a vendor, if you have done a pre-order, we will have volunteers on the site. And that is not something that is definitely a question you could ask a volunteer. They will be wearing yellow vests to go and get your product, especially if it's a pre-order already done. It's just to pick up and bring it to you. It might be difficult more with a pay. You may not want to hand over your cash, but I do trust our volunteers at this point, or your credit card, but I understand that. But I do want you to know, if there's an issue with transportation and someone getting to get their things, we will try to make sure that happens with our volunteers or amongst the managers that we have on site for the evening. And we have interns as well this year. So I don't want anybody to be daunted by the size of the parking lot and how spread out we are going to be to obtain the social distancing and the safety that we need to have for our health of our vendors and our customers.
Right. Yeah. I agree. That spacing is so important, because when people might be waiting in line, you have to remember you've got to space them. So we're lucky. Linda.
So this is what you'll see the farmers market managers wearing, the green shirt. It says farmers market on the front and manager on the back. Feel free to stop any of them and ask any questions.
And this is what you'll see when you come in. We'll have an enter only line, an exit only line. What I don't have a picture of is on the back of each of these will be a do not enter, so that we don't get our 2 lines mixed up when you're leaving. So we'll have it fixed where you'll come in, so the enter will be on this side and the do not enter will be on the exit side. And then obviously when you go out, it'll be the reverse situation. I'm sorry, I do not have a printout of my do not enter side. That's my fault. And thank you, Emily, for being the designer of signs.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been in good hands. We've got such a great team of managers for this market, and it's really been so helpful with all the changes that we've had to make. We've got a super team. Proud to be a part of it. So, any other questions out there? If not, I just want to thank you again for taking the time to sit down with us, learn more about how the market is going to operate and how to shop it safely during this pandemic. So we are looking forward to the market starting in 8 days and counting, less than 8 days. But anyway, we'll see you at the market. Thank you again.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye. Thank you.